I will not stay here and contradict the leadership. If I'm here, brother, that should tell you that I'm with the leadership. If I ain't here, that should tell you I ain't with the leadership anymore. But I'm not free to stick around and contradict the leadership every month, every week, every 3 months, and sow confusion, which always leads to discourse. That's what the context is here. Yahweh is looking for a people. So you can't get this sitting home isolated all the time. Part of vibrant body life is being challenged. Okay? Yahweh is looking for a people that will learn to seek unity above their right to opinionate. Do you have a right to opinionate? Absolutely. You can opinionate on Miami Gardens Drive. You can opinionate in politics. You can opinionate as a guest on Fox News. But read my lips, Bubba. At 18349 Northeast 4th Court, you are not free to opinionate contrary to what the leadership is saying. Selah. Hard stuff, huh?
Yes, sir.
There's got to be some structure to Yahweh's army. If not, stop saying we're the army of Yahweh. How can we be the army of Yahweh if we have no structure? How can we be the army of Yahweh if we have no leadership? So a Gentile just says, I'm an individual. I'm free to express my opinion anytime the Spirit moves me to express my opinion. Wrong. You're free to think whatever you want. We're not a cult. We're not a mind control organization. But you're not free to share those things when it creates confusion and when it creates division.
Amen.
Common sense, right? Common sense. I can't walk into Dr. Edgar's office and say, look, this MRI says this, but I say this. Because my schooling is more intense than his schooling. My background is a better background. My training gives me the ability to read the MRI, and I see things that poor brother doesn't see. I don't have that freedom. I can't walk into his office and do that.
Right. That's right.
I can open an office in the next county and start my own MRI and start taking pictures on my own, and then I can opinionate for $50 per photo. I can opinionate all I want. So nobody's trying to steal your individuality, but a Gentile thinks they can just walk in and opinionate anytime, anywhere. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. So let's go back to verse 18. Now you're starting to get it. Good. Because you have to see it in the context of verse 13 and verse 14. Of course, we did that in part 1. Okay. They are, verse 18. Some Gentiles, when we think we have a right to be heard more than the necessity of preserving the unity in the congregation, we have a lack of comprehension. If you are in this synagogue, brothers and sisters, it is an indication to you, to Yahweh and to the rest of us here at Israel, that you have purposed beforehand to be in unity regardless of the cost, in your pride and and regardless of the effort. Yahweh will bless your determination. In other words, we're looking for people to come into this congregation and say, I am here to be one with you. I'm determined. No matter what happens, no matter who says what, no matter who accuses you of anything, no matter who speaks against the brothers of anything, I have determined ahead of time. The fact that I have walked through the door, the fact that I'm here, sitting in these pews, it should be indicative to you, Rabbi, Tehillah, Beltrami, and others. It should be indicative to you that I am determined, regardless of the cost, regardless of the pride that I have to swallow, regardless of the effort or the determination that I have to make, that I will never allow myself to publicly vent or to continually come against things that are the commonly held purposes of the community. See, that's a statement. When you walk through those doors and you become a member of an Yeshua synagogue, you are making that statement. That I will never come against and bring confusion and discord in the camp. I may not agree with everything, but I'm going to swallow my pride. See, that's a Gentile mind. Listen to me. A Gentile mind thinks it has the right to be heard about all kinds of things and all kinds of opinions. I have a right to think for myself. I have a right to express my thoughts. What does Yahweh say? You can't bring unity in the community. You can't have national emunah. That's not the type of unity that the Father and Yeshua. Could you imagine if the Father and Yeshua had that kind of unity? If Yeshua starts giving opinions to the Father, and the Ruach HaKodesh gave opinions to Yeshua contrary to that, what kind of unity would that be? You know why we laugh? Because many of us have been used in that way. We're guilty of that in many ways, in bringing disunity. Baruch Hashem Yahweh. Compound, joint compound. Go to Colossians, please. Colossians 2:19. Colossians 2:19. Colossians 2:19. And not holding, see, you got to be determined to guard the unity before the attack from the enemy comes. When you have a brother or sister running around the congregation creating discord and sowing confusion, you're gone. Okay, you got to determine ahead of time, I will guard the unity that exists in that congregation ahead of time. So when that disunity comes, you can recognize it and say, no, hold it. I'm here. My wife is here. My husband is here. Whatever the community teaches, I teach. Whatever they believe, I believe. Whatever they hope and trust, I hope and trust. Otherwise, my wife wouldn't be here. So when you're asking me, do I agree? Save your breath. Because if I didn't agree, and if I wasn't supportive of the vision, I wouldn't be here. That's how to deal with it. You follow me? Totally. And having that pride, thinking that you have a right to think, the word of Yahweh says in verse 18 of Ephesians 4, that's a darkened, vain, alienated mind of ignorance and blindness, thinking that your right to be heard is more important than the determination needed to guard unity. Again, to have a successful marriage, you've got to determine to have a successful marriage. To remain healthy and to stay healthy, you've got to determine that you're going to do whatever it takes to remain healthy and to fight for your health. That's a determination. And when do you make the determination? After you're dead? When do you decide to adopt a healthy lifestyle? After you're dead? No. While you can still purpose and struggle to determine to have that healthy lifestyle. Amen? Same in the camp. Determine that you will fight and strive and guard the unity that's already in existence in the camp, and presuppose the fact that Yahweh brought you into the camp to fight for the unity that's there. We have paid a heavy price in people who have left misunderstandings and bad feelings, people that haven't understood our heart, haven't understood the heart of what we do. People get offended easily, right? Determine in your heart. The day I cannot, it is more important for me to be heard and for me to express my opinion rather than being sent by Yahweh here to preserve the unity. That's the day I'll leave. Yes, you have the freedom. You have the freedom. We don't chase people down. We don't control. And don't misunderstand me. We are not trying to control your thinking. But the fact that you are members of this congregation presupposes that you are echad with us, and you will not allow the enemy, and the enemy always comes through people, because the enemy has disciples, people, right? Just like Yeshua has disciples, the enemy has disciples. The enemy will come in through people and sow division and discord. We won't tolerate it. Verse 19. And not holding to the head, from which all the body knit together by joints. Notice, the entire body are members, but they're also joints. So that muscle can grow, and strength, and vision, and movement, and progress, and ligaments. We receive nourishment, and we grow with the increase of Eloha. Notice, the entire body must be nourished with the same food. Notice. The entire body is knit together by joints and ligaments and receives the nourishment. What nourishment? The increase of growing in the things of Eloha. But if someone is questioning and constantly putting doubt, fear, and unbelief in your mind, How are you going to nourish yourself when the pulpit, the kadosh,